What I'm about to share is a painful chapter in my life. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna publish this video. And yes, I do have written an entire book about it, but still kind of revisiting these emotions and that time in my life, I'm questioning if I really want to do it. And it's not like I'm trying to avoid feeling the emotions, I'm not trying to run away from it. But still, there's a part of me that feels like, well, why bother? Why still bring it up? Why still think about it? And there's this other part of me that acknowledges exactly the fact how painful it was and how I myself couldn't talk about it. Not even with people who are really close to me. Shame, the feelings of being unlovable, it triggered so much in me. And I know that that is the case for most people who experience infidelity in their relationship. Feelings of being replaced by somebody else, sleepless nights, the vague understanding that something is changing, that you are no longer the priority person to your spouse, to your husband. You're getting switched out. There's somebody else getting the first phone call after whatever special, big or small, that has happened in your partner's life. You're no longer the one. And I could feel the emotional distance growing, and I did desperately cling on to the relationship. I wished with all of my heart that it should continue being us. And at that time, we had 2 young children, and I truly believe that our marriage would last forever. Sure, we had our struggles, and there were definitely toxic behaviors. And I do also know that the relationship should have ended long before this happened. If you've been in a relationship that you shouldn't be in, it's hard to just end it. So I guess now in retrospect, looking back, the infidelity was the best thing that ever could have happened. And if I would have known what truly was going on, maybe it would have been easier for me to let go and start my healing journey. So in this video, we'll talk about signs, and also in retrospect, the signs were there in my relationship, but I missed them. If you like the themes I'm talking about, dating, love, relationships, success, first impressions, please hit the subscribe button and let me know about your experiences when it comes to this painful subject that so many of us have experienced in our lives. So one of the first signs is my husband's reluctance to have any pictures of us, to post any pictures of us together on social media. No family pictures, no dinner photos of us two, not even a simple birthday post. And that's exactly where it became so clear that things weren't the way they used to be, even though I didn't understand it at that time when we were celebrating his birthday. This behavior was of course tied to him leading 2 different lives in 2 parallel relationships, where each of us were led to believe that the other one didn't exist. The second sign was more subtle and emotionally damaging for me. So whenever we had disagreements, the conversation would quickly turn around, making me the villain, the bad person, the toxic person, the crazy one. I was made to feel wrong for reacting. I was made to feel wrong for trying to set my boundaries, for simply trying to communicate. And this pattern of blame and distancing was a way for him to justify his own actions and easing his own conscience for being unfaithful. And this emotional distance that was just growing and increasing during this period, that was really tough to cope with. I couldn't put my finger on why everything just felt so awkward. Well, it hadn't been good for a long time, but just feeling the sense of getting disconnected from your own relationship, it was really devastating. And the third sign, which I also at the time missed, was his sudden increase in happiness and inspiration. And this is one of the lesser known indicators of infidelity, which I've also discussed in my book, The Naked Truth. When a partner seems unusually joyful or full of energy, it could be that they are newly in love with someone else. But the rush of emotions are just spilling over in their life. And you, as the official partner, the married partner, it's so easy to believe that those emotions are connected to your relationship, that you two are just so happy together, that everything's just like normal. And I'm gonna soon share what happened afterwards, because these 3 signs were signs among so many other signs. And what eventually happened was that no, my marriage did not survive. I was left for the other woman. But still, I could never have anticipated that my husband would have an affair, or that my husband would leave me for another woman, which was the case. And I definitely don't want to paint out myself as a sad, abandoned person, because that is not the case. After the divorce, I spent several years as a single, rediscovering myself, creating a new life for myself and my children. Like life has a funny way of working out things. What seemed like at the end of my world at that time turned out to be the beginning of a happier chapter. And yes, being abandoned, being cheated on was one of the most painful experiences of my life. It even led to stress-related hair loss, where it has grown back, but I had hairless, bald spots on my head. But looking back now, I realize that it was a crucial part of my journey toward where I stand today. And if you are going through something similar, please know that I understand the pain and the confusion you are feeling. It's incredibly hard, but it will pass. With time, you will find healing, rediscover yourself, your strength, and realize that new and beautiful things are waiting for you. And this is my reason for talking about this subject, because I know that I'm not the only one that have experienced infidelity. And the reason to why I wrote my book, The Naked Truth, is because there are so many of us out there that need to hear these stories and need to dare talking about it, because we should not feel ashamed. We should not feel unlovable as I did, because most likely it has nothing to do with you. What I have discovered through my interviews with people who are cheating and in my investigating this topic is that infidelity often is connected and is caused by the personality of the cheater, meaning he or she would stray regardless of who their partner is, regardless what relationship they are living in. I hope that that's one of the things you can remember from this video. I wish you all the best.